If I ever had one, they would have a headband on. They would have a little sweatband on.
Ask Sarah Marshall says, put a headband on your Old English sheepdog.
Yes. That way you'll know what he's thinking.
In the spirit of the most influential advice columnists in American history, Dear Abby and Ann Landers, I am joined this week by my own identical twin and lifelong rival, Sarah Marshall of the podcast You're Wrong About. Together, we are giving our own unique advice to some of the funnier questions sent in to Dear Abby and Ask Ann Landers from the 1950s to the early 2000s. I'm your host, Chelsey Weber-Smith, and this is American Hysteria.
I am here with the amazing, incredible, wise Sarah Marshall, who is going to be the Ann Landers to my Dear Abby today as we try to answer some classic letters that were written in to both of those women, our twins. So thank you for being here, Sarah.
I'm so excited, and I'm so excited to find out why I'm the Ann and you're the Abby.
There's no specific reason why we are the ones that we are, but that's what happens. So maybe we can decide at the end if it's accurate.
I thought you were going to maybe be like, well, Dear Abby loved caves, whereas Ann Landers had a Jell-O cookbook, which are both things that are true of us.
I do think that would be more accurate than the other way around.
Okay.
So,
all right. I like that.
Yeah. So I think you're onto something here.
I'm excited. And I'm probably going to give way worse advice than they did.
Well, I've done my best to collect things that I think are both entertaining. We're kind of going more the funny route. There are lots of serious letters, but I thought it would just be more fun to do the fun ones.
We're going to exutain. Also, do you remember, because I'm currently grieving the cancellation of I'm Just Like That, my favorite show in the world. And do you remember how for like 5 seconds they were like, and Carrie's got a podcast called Sex in the City where she gives advice to people's voice memos, or they have them call in like it's a radio show. It's unclear. And then they were just like, no, never mind. She doesn't have a job.
Yeah.
Carrie doesn't need to do anything. And it was like, oh, would have been nice to have some voiceover to listen to Carrie give advice on like, you know, polyamory.
Well, she's such a prude for being the representative of sex within the city. She has just proven year after year to be just unable to actually talk about sex in a way that doesn't feel antiquated. So
yeah, it's fascinating. And now she's talking about The Woman. I wonder if The Woman has sex.
The Woman from the 1800s novel that she's been writing.
Yeah.
That I would give anything to read.
Yes.
A full version of, maybe one day. Well, R.I.P. And Just Like That.
Should I write a chapter of it?
I would love if you wrote a chapter of it.
Okay, I'm going to write a chapter of The Woman. But anyway.
Okay.
I aspire to give at least better advice than Carrie does on the Sex and the City podcast, because the one column thing we hear her do, or the one question we hear her answer, is, I'm sleeping with a guy, but I want to take it to the next level. How can I? And Carrie's like, just wait and see if he gives out signs that he wants to get serious. It's like, yeah, just wait for 8 years until he leaves you at the altar, whatever.
And that is like kind of the opposite advice that Ann and Abby, Epi and Popo, would have given.
Well, that sounds heartening.
So they were actually quite progressive when it came to sex, even in the 1950s. You know, the fact that they were even speaking of the subject, even if they were doing so in a like wait till marriage way.
And that they like didn't get yanked from all of the newspapers, although I'm sure I'm going to find out in your episode that they got yanked from some.
Yeah, I mean, it just kind of turned out that every time people got up in arms, there was like a legion of fans writing into the newspaper being like, do not cancel Ann Landers. And it was always just overwhelmingly in favor of them, even when they did controversial things. So they were just very well beloved.
I'm excited.
And maybe we'll see why when we see their fucking spicy answers to these questions, because they They did not mince words and they did not coddle, and we will see that.
I mean, I guess they also only had like 150 words per answer, so you really don't have time to coddle anybody or mince. No coddling, no mincing.
No coddling, no mincing. Ann Landers was a little bit more verbose. She, wrote quite a bit more than Dear Abby, who sometimes just liked to do a single pun sentence as her answer.
Oh, God.
Really funny. Really, she's very funny, though.
Was she ever just like, no?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And it was always in a really funny way.
It's fantastic. And you and I both remember these being in the newspaper when we were in high school. Like, these women lived to be like 200 years old.
They were, let's see, our Dear Abby stopped the column in the early 2000s because she got Alzheimer's, and then her daughter picked it up.
Right. I remember that.
Yeah. We're like sticking to the original Dear Abby.
Of
so
course.
all of these are going to be before 2000. And then Ann Landers.
Not the Kane Hodder Dear Abby.
Yeah. And then Ann Landers died the same year that Dear Abby was diagnosed. So that was the year, 2000.
Okay. So middle school, but still.
Yeah. So middle school. But we were reading Dear Abby. We just weren't reading it from Popo, our dear Popo.
I can't wait to hear people's problems.
I know. And they're so wonderful and insane. Oh, here we go. I really, really like this one. Okay. And this one is from 1968.
Okay.
Dear Ann Landers, I hope you won't think this letter is too insane to print because I would like an answer to my question and I think you can give it to me. I went skiing a few weeks ago and broke my leg. I have it in a cast, and now the leg is stiff and it is impossible for me to put a sock on. I live alone, and the two other tenants on my floor are little old ladies who have probably never seen a man's naked foot, which is quite presumptuous.
Yeah.
It is embarrassing to come to the office with no sock on.
You're not born a little old lady.
No, exactly. I was like, they had to get there somehow. Okay. He continues. It's embarrassing to come to the office with no sock on, but I don't know what else I can do about it. Do you know of any trick way to put a sock on over a cast? Thanks a lot.
Wow.
Nick.
Wow.
Yeah. We're starting with really important stuff.
So do you want me to answer?
I'd love for you. What would you tell this man, Nick?
Well, I would really start with my premise of like, where do you think these little old ladies came from? Didn't they have dads at one point?
Yeah.
Or
children of their own.
Right. Or lovers.
Absolutely.
I don't know. But the point is, I would be like, Nick, this is not a sock trick column. This is a human relationship column, and you need to learn how to ask for help, and women have seen feet. It's all okay.
I think that that's a fantastic answer. And I would follow up with be able to ask those ladies for help.
Yeah.
I think that you're going to do better asking a lady for help than you are like some dude at the office. Mm-hmm. But, maybe that's just some sexism that still lives deep within me.
It's a very good chance.
But I think what you said is so right. I think it's like, Nick, you're going to have to ask for help. There's no trick. I don't have like a fancy stick trick that I could like put a sock on a stick. And
if I did, you'd have another thing you couldn't do in your cast that you would then not know how to ask people for help with.
I wonder, okay, here's my only idea for a trick. Those claws from the 90s that you could like pull and they would close.
Yeah. Or it would be like a dinosaur head or a shark head or something.
Yes. And I believe that they are genuine tools that help people that are unable to reach things. But as a child,
I think like some guy had too many of those one day and he started selling them as kids' toys to zoos for some reason.
Because I loved my claw, when I had it, I just loved it. So in my mind, it's like, okay, could he grab the sock in the claw? Could he kind of carefully place it upon his toe and pull?
But then you need enough purchase to like pull it over your heel, I think is the issue. I
mean, yeah, if he could like get it on the toe, reposition the claw under the sock and pull, that's the only idea I have.
I would tell him that if it's too big of a hurdle, to work on asking people for help, or if he's just like not able to push himself to do that, then he can always just wear loafers for a while.
Loafers is a great answer. That's really good. I hope he can get a shoe on. I assume he can get a shoe on.
Yeah, because he would have brought that up.
Yeah.
And also to imagine if he couldn't get a shoe on, what would he do? Because he would have to at a certain point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got to be able to get a shoe on. No, I think loafers is the best answer we can give Nick, aside from learn how to ask for help.
Yeah. Learn how to ask for help or get loafers.
Yeah.
Those are your options.
Those are your options. Why not both? I think loafers can look good.
Yeah. They look great in a Kennedy kind of a way.
Yeah. You'd be like a boat guy and they'll think you're fancy.
Chelsey, you could wear some loafers. It could be your homage to Robert Traylan's.
Ooh, that would be good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll think about that. All right, should we hear Ann Landers' response?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm dying to know.
She says, "Dear Nick," I don't know why she's mad in my tone
Dear
of voice.
Nick,
Dear Nick. That's the whole answer. Okay. Dear Nick, if there's not a single person in the whole world you can ask to help you put a sock over your cast, you have more trouble than a naked foot, mister.
Wow. That's true, though.
I know,
wow.
I know. When you leave the house in the morning, put the sock in your pocket. Ask the very first male you encounter if he will give you a hand with your foot. I can't imagine anyone saying no.
Wow, the very first male you encounter.
The very first. So, I mean, she's encouraging the same thing as us, asking for help, and also encouraging a little bit of man-on-man intimacy. There's something intimate about pulling a sock on a cast for a man,
There is, yeah.
Okay. Let's do a Dear Abby.
Okay.
Since we've just done an Anne.
Great.
In 1957, Dear Abby, I just had all my teeth pulled and was invited to a wedding. My new teeth won't be ready.
No, back up. Why? My God.
Put this bitch in reverse.
Were these things related? Was the hygienist like, oh, by the way?
I'm not quite sure. Yeah, I'm getting married this week. I'd love for you to attend. Okay. I just had all my teeth pulled and was invited to a wedding. My new teeth won't be ready in time for the wedding, and I want to go so much. Do you think I should go to the wedding without my teeth, or do you think I will feel funny? I really hate to miss it. Signed, Mrs. N.K.
Oh, dear.
This is a hard one.
I mean, I feel like she will definitely feel funny, but if it's worth it to her, then it's worth feeling funny.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I can't say that it would be easy for me to go to a wedding without my teeth.
No.
I don't know what I would do. And maybe that is a peek into my ego. I
might just go to the ceremony part rather than the reception, because I do feel like there's something very vulnerable, and of especially being at like a large event full of people when you're not used to dealing with that change yet. But yeah, to like inform a few people, if you can.
Yeah.
Again, like ask for help and sort of go quietly, and then maybe not stay for eating and dancing if that's going to make you feel especially uncomfortable.
I think that the best thing always to do when you feel uncomfortable about something is to make it funny. So like if you wanted to go and you did feel uncomfortable, which I imagine most people would, no matter how comfortable we are in our physical selves, I think you can just kind of be like, my teeth aren't ready, and people will think that's really funny, and nobody's, I think that could be good.
Make a joke out of it. That's true. Yeah, you need to approach it like an old man.
Yeah, and just, be like, well, my teeth aren't ready. I don't know what to say. I wanted to come to the fucking wedding, so here I am.
Wouldn't it be amazing if there was someone listening right now in the year of our Lord 2025 who has this problem?
Yeah, or like they went to get veneers, so they had their teeth ground down to kind of like those teensky little vampire teeth.
That's so freaky to me.
Yeah, it's wild.
I can never spot veneers for some reason. I don't know why.
It feels pretty easy to me at this point, but it's very popular.
I'm sure it is. I just don't look for them. Yeah.
And now you'll see them everywhere. That's how it goes, right? Okay, here's what Dear Abby had to say. Dear Mrs. NK, if you really want to go to the wedding, go buy gum and gum it.
Oh my God. That's beautiful. I love it.
She is really good at the one-liners.
And gum it.
And gum it. Yeah.
With gumption.
With gumption. See, maybe you are, dear Abby. Okay. Here's one from 1974 that I think kind of shows how Ann Landers and Dear Abby were kind of ahead of their time when talking about sexual subjects. They weren't like radical, but for a Midwestern housewife and the many Midwestern housewives that read it.
In the newspaper.
Exactly. So, Dear Ann Landers, I hope this subject isn't too indelicate to appear in your column. I can't bring myself to discuss it with a doctor and I need an answer. I've never seen any reference to this problem anywhere, yet I can't be the only woman in the world who has it. My husband has been a heavy drinker for years. It's caused him to be impotent. Although I am not young anymore, I still have an occasional urge for sexual experience. So I masturbate instead of going out and finding a willing partner, as some women do. Is this physically harmful? Do clergymen consider it a sin?
Oh boy.
It isn't adultery, but I feel guilty just the same. I hope you won't tell me to keep busy. I'm so busy now I can't see straight.
Wow.
Please take this load off my mind. Signed, Burdened.
Wow.
And I mean, I think I know how you'd answer this question, but what would you say to this particular woman to make her feel better?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Masturbate early and often. And there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing harmful about it. And the only reason people say it is to try and keep women from realizing that their men aren't pleasing them enough.
Yeah, I think that's a great answer. And a lot of times...
And also, how are you doing in that marriage, babe? You doing okay?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Divorce is becoming a thing.
Well, and that's really interesting because both of them were very encouraging of staying married kind of no matter what. And slowly in this exact year, things were changing in terms of them softening on divorce. And then the next year, it turned out that Ann Landers' husband was having an affair with a person who was quite a bit younger than their own daughter. And so after that, she really softened on divorce.
Yeah, to get divorced. Go ahead. It's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, that could be something here if he's a heavy drinker for years. I think maybe asking for rehab is a good idea.
Depending on what side of him his drinking brings out as well.
True. Very true. And apparently it's an impotent side. So, you know, I mean, could be worse for sure. She's not talking about him being cruel.
It's one of the better sides, honestly.
Yeah, definitely. And maybe I do think communication with the husband is important. I don't know how much communication she's had, but if that's not working, then girl, jerk off.
It is amazing. The sequel to Girl, Wash Your Face. It's much better, actually. Girl, go jerk off.
Come on.
What does she say? And which one are we getting? Is this Anne or Abby?
This is Anne. Okay.
Okay.
So you'll see she's a bit less quippy. That's not as much her thing.
Right. Because Abby would be like, when a problem comes along, you must jerk it. I anticipated that song by like 9 years.
Exactly. Okay. So Anne says, Dear B, masturbation, if it becomes obsessive and compulsive, can border on the pathological and therefore can be harmful.
Well, that's true of anything.
Absolutely, it's true. But in the overwhelming majority of instances, the only harmful thing about masturbation is the guilt.
Oh.
Is it a sin? It depends on whom you ask. Every enlightened clergyman I have questioned on this subject has said no, and I have queried clergymen of every faith.
Queried clergyman is hard to say.
It is. Try it 3 times.
Queried clergyman, queried clergyman, queried clergyman.
Wow, well.
I'm not drunk, officer.
Okay, I really like this one. Dear Abby, for my 35th wedding anniversary, my husband bought me a plot in a cemetery. Was I wrong in feeling hurt when I was expecting a new sewing machine? Signed, Still Living.
Dear Still Living, aim higher.
And now, though, I'm like, is that gift a little bit romantic?
It depends on if it's romantic to the person you bought it for. You know, that's what it's all about.
And you should know your person.
And I know that you would find that romantic.
And I think that, I think Miranda would know I would find that romantic. But yes, you're so right. It's like, if you've been married for 35 years, you should know that your wife wants a sewing machine. Very few wives, especially from 1959, which is when this letter came out, would want a funeral plot or to think about their death, I think.
Right. I mean, it is very practical. But yeah, especially when you're like in your 50s, probably you're starting to feel like, oh gosh, where's it all going? Because like at that point, in the 1950s, you would be sort of like represented as near death for the next few decades of your life.
Absolutely ignored.
So it's like not a great time to be reminded of that, although it is very practical. I love how I'm talking as if the people who wrote these letters are like listening, even though I'm sure they're all... I mean, that woman is buried in that plot right now.
Absolutely. Unless she left him.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Unless she read a later Ann Landers column and was like, wait a minute, I can just leave him, like Bridget Fonda in Singles.
I didn't know I could do this. And then the only other thing that I think here is like, is your husband trying to hint at wanting you to die? Like he wants to leave you, but he's like, just die.
Is that something his buddies told him to do?
Yeah. And maybe it'll work, like from fright alone.
And then, maybe she'll die. It happened to Fred.
It happened. Yeah. So, all right.
And is this Abby?
This is Abby. This is our dear Abby.
So she wrote, don't plots, just leave the sucker.
Yeah, almost. She said, not the most helpful answer. Dear Still, your husband's gift was down to earth, but I think he should have bought you something for the here and now.
Yeah. That's good. I like that she's going with like a fortune cookie kind of a response.
She has a very fortune cookie.
Pithy.
Yeah, very pithy.
Yeah. Maybe she used to work in a fortune cookie factory. I can see that for her.
According to my research, she did not. Mm. Her dad did own an artificial ice company.
Wow.
That's as close as she got.
That's pretty close in a sense.
Hey, I think so.
Well, if you could write a fortune cookie, what would it say? Like to go out to like some person in Seattle who's getting dinner and for them to be like, what on earth?
Oh my God.
I would write, help, I'm trapped in a fortune cookie.
That's great.
Thank you.
Oh my God. Reminds me of when I used to, I still go. It reminds me of when I would go to Fort Worden, if anyone knows where that is, which is my favorite place ever in Port Townsend. And there were like these scary old army barrack tunnels that you could go in. And someone wrote, help me, I'm trapped in the walls. And I always remember it. I always remember it. It scared the shit out of me.
That's intense.
A really good.
This one is a little less scary.
A little less scary, but good graffiti. Maybe that's what I would put in my fortune cookie. Help me, I'm trapped in your walls.
Nice.
More after this. And now, back to the show.
This is from 1978 and feels so 1978. I think you'll like this one.
Oh, boy.
Dear Anne, a friend told me yesterday she read somewhere that hypnosis might be helpful in giving a girl larger bust measurements.
What?
Will you please check with your experts and find out if there is anything on this? I am only 14. I have nothing more than a couple little mosquito bites where my breasts belong. Some girls in my gym class are already fully developed. I hope you will let me know right away so I can make plans.
That's so cute.
I know. And do not go to a hypnotherapist for this reason. It feels like a really scary choice.
Especially not in 1978.
But they were really, I feel like that was their, the start of their kind of heyday that would then lead into all of the trouble of the 80s and 90s that we talk about all the time.
Yeah. And of the good old satanic panic and how back then you could bill hypnotherapy to someone's insurance.
Yeah.
Can't do that anymore. There's a reason.
Right? Can you not do that anymore? I never know.
I'm pretty sure that across the board you can't, because hypnotherapy was so important to the recovered memory movement, and you would have recovered memory, like the leaders in the field being like, yeah, you got to keep someone hypnotized for like 6 or 8 hours so they can react out all their trauma.
Yeah.
And then you bill their insurance for like an 8-hour stretch of hypnosis. But yeah, I would say, honey, wait, is the question over?
Yeah, the question's over, and it was signed by Marianne.
Marianne. All right. Marianne, the only one who can decide what size your breasts are is the Lord.
You're going to bring God into this. Okay, great.
Well, or nature or whatever. But the point is, there's nothing you can do about it. So just, don't worry. Everyone develops at different times. And when it happens for you, it'll be worth the wait. God, that was cheesy.
That was so cheesy. And I liked it. The other thing I'll say is, once you become of age, when you're in your 20s, if you're still unhappy, you can get a boob job.
Right.
So do that, babe.
Or you might like having, some people have small breasts and that might be what you have and you might like it. Or you might not, and then you can get a boob job.
I feel like small breasts were popular in the 70s and then that changed in the 80s.
Yes. Well, I think there was actually a boob job breakthrough in the 80s. I think that was when we invented the silicone breast implant.
Interesting.
I should do an episode, or you, probably you, should do an episode on that.
Why not together?
Why not together?
We can each take one boob.
Oh, that's so nice.
Okay, so should we see what Anne said to this really strange question?
Yes. I'm sorry. This is making me think of like the ghost of Christmas past, showing up and being like, take my boob. And we each take a boob and then we fly into the early 90s. Yes. Okay. What's the answer?
That's beautiful. That's so beautiful. Okay. So Anne says, Dear Marianne, according to Dr. Herbert Spiegel, a distinguished New York psychiatrist who uses hypnosis in his practice.
None of his patients' breasts are bigger, and he should know. Wink, wink.
This is how I'm feeling. So he says that breast enlargement cannot be produced by hypnosis. Dr. Spiegel says the size of breasts may vary from day to day.
Again, trust me, I would know. Yours, Dr. Spiegel.
Dr. Spiegel. Dr. Spiegel said the size of breasts may vary from day to day due to body fluids and electrolyte shifts.
Well, yeah, a bit. I mean, your period, right?
Yeah.
Maybe,
Not sure about electrolytes. Sound off in the comments, doctors. Yeah.
Or I guess like weight gain. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why we all have to drink all these electrolytes.
Yeah, exactly. Also, uncritical but enthusiastic measurement techniques may give the impression that the breasts are increasing in size. People often see what they want to see.
Uncritical but enthusiastic measurement techniques is such a good phrase.
It's really good. Wait, she says, people often see what they want to see.
That's true.
In other words, if a girl wants to believe her breasts are getting larger, she can sell herself a bill of goods.
Ooh.
So there's your answer, Buttercup. My advice is to let Mother Nature do her work, and I'll bet by the time you are 17, you'll have all you need.
Wow. I am literally dying to say that to somebody. There's your answer, Buttercup.
Yeah, it's great.
This is like, who is this woman? Jerry Orbach?
She is Anne fucking Landers. And I grew to love these biddies, man. I really did.
Tell me, and you started off more just curious, right? And then it became a deep love?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I started off with just knowing that they perpetuated a lot of urban legends, unintentionally. And I thought that would be the focus. And then I found out they were identical twins. And I was like, no, this is a biography. We got to hear the story.
Biography.
And, I don't know. It's weird whenever I do an episode on a person or group of people, even the really shitty ones. I just am such a sucker and my heart grows 3 sizes.
Yeah. Well, you get attached to people.
Yeah, you do. Especially if you have people in your life that are a little rough around the edges, I think sometimes.
No, they're all perfect.
Yeah, they're all perfect. Okay, let's see.
There's your answer, Buttercup.
This one is insane. Okay. This is an Abby, and we are at 1969 for this one.
Okay.
Dear Abby, we have an old maid neighbor who thinks she is smart. She named her Cocker Spaniel Lester, knowing perfectly well that that was my husband's name. Just so fucking funny. In the evening, when she calls her dog, my husband goes to the window and barks just to confuse her.
No, that's what she thinks.
There have been times when I've called my husband when he's down the road somewhere and that dog would come running.
Oh, no, not a Cocker Spaniel.
I know. Sorry, everyone. My least favorite kind of dog.
Oh, really?
Oh, wait. I get them all mixed up. Let me look. Is that the one?
Yeah, look up. I bet you don't mean a Cocker Spaniel.
No, I definitely do. Oh, God.
Oh, all right.
Oh, my God. I can't.
Well, it's just our secret.
It's just the secret between us and
everyone listening.
And all of our dear readers of this column.
Chelsey doesn't like Cocker Spaniels.
Okay. I'd like an addendum to this. I don't like when the Cocker Spaniel has the long hair, right? Like the hair that goes down to the floor.
I think that's like the whole look.
Yeah, it doesn't work for me.
Yeah, fair enough. I think do I have a least favorite kind of dog? I mean, I like this kind of dog perfectly fine, but I don't understand my cat is eating a fly right beside me. He's like got it stuck between the window and his paw, and he keeps trying to eat it.
This is why we're cat people.
It's like every day is a safari, which it can be with dogs too, I understand. But
every day is a safari. Get a little bit closer.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
That was very Natalie Merchant sounding.
Thank you.
But I feel like with Old English sheepdogs, you never know where you are, because they have those bangs that go over their eyes.
Yeah,
so you can't see their eyes usually.
Oh, I love them. No, I like them.
I love them too, but I never know what they're emoting.
Well, and it's not fair. You don't have to have a least favorite dog.
I mean, you can tell a lot from body language, but I want to get all the information. I want to see dog eyebrows.
I think that makes sense. And, it's not fair for me to have you tell us your least favorite dog. It's not fair, but...
Well, right. And they're not my least favorite. I just wish I knew more about what they were thinking.
Yeah.
If I ever had one, they would have a headband on. They would have a little sweatband on.
Oh, that'd be so cute. Like an 80s exercise.
And they would have little wristbands on their paws.
Perfect. Problem solved.
Kind of like Garth's dog in Wayne's World too.
You're just solving problems all over the place.
Yep.
This is your new advice.
I'm having adventures all over the place. Rochelle.
Ask Sarah Marshall says, put a headband on your Old English sheepdog.
Yes. That way you'll know what he's thinking. Okay, wait. A Cocker Spaniel. I yelled for my husband and a Cocker Spaniel came. What else?
Okay. I don't even... Oh, yeah, it was a Cocker Spaniel. That's how we got here.
That's how we started talking about this.
Okay. So the letter continues. Isn't there something we can do about this?
I love that it's... See, you can't do that with AI. Like, that was just that story. And then the phrase, isn't there something we can do about this? Is the funniest thing I've ever heard.
Abby, please. Okay, it continues.
Kill her dad.
There surely must be laws to protect respectable people against being humiliated publicly by people like her. I'd take her to court if I thought I could win. Signed, Lester's wife.
There must be a law against naming your dog after your neighbor.
Okay, here's what I would ask. What did you do to her? Mm-hmm. It's like, what happened before she did this?
Right. Why did she name her dog after your husband, actually?
If he's a guy that would retaliate by barking out his window, there might be something behind her decision to name the dog Lester.
Right.
Because it's not really, it feels retaliatory. It doesn't feel like just something an old maid does for fun.
Yeah.
Because that would just cause trouble for her, really.
I would say, sounds like you're jealous of your neighbor for having only a dog and not a husband to take care of.
Wow. There it is. There it is. That's your Dear Abby response. Okay. So Dear Abby says,
sounds like you need to go on holiday.
Ooh, good.
Sorry.
See, she wouldn't go that far. That's a pun too far.
That's Banicula punning.
That is Banicula punning. Wow. Ugh.
The Holiday Inn.
What I wouldn't give to go back to the Children's Theater in Seattle to see the version of Banicula that they put on for me as a child on a field trip. I know.
Just for you, like Queen Elizabeth and Shakespeare in Love.
Just like that. Except it was Banicula and I was, 9.
I would love to see that too. Banicula is an incredible book. Everyone should read it.
Yeah, maybe I need to revisit. I wish I had the time.
Yeah, I think so. It's short, because it's for kids.
That does help. I could probably bang it out in an hour. Okay. She says, Dear wife, if you have a bone to pick with your neighbor over her dog, better do it out of court. A grown man who would bark to confuse a neighbor who's calling her dog is in no position to find fault with a practical joker.
There you go. Wow. Love it.
Yeah, she sided with the old maid.
You gotta side with old maids generally, because usually they've done nothing wrong, and sometimes when they have, they can curse you.
And it's, again, I'm going to return to the toothless wedding and say, they're like worried about the humiliation of a woman naming a dog Lester, when really all you need to do is take it back and just be like, yeah, this old biddy named her dog Lester. Isn't that absolutely hilarious? And everyone at your BBQ in 1969 would also think that was really funny, unless they're humorless like this couple, unfortunately.
Exactly. Like this lady. I know. Yeah. It's a kind of a timeless Karen archetype.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to have neighbors who had a dog and neighbors who had a baby, and the dog and the baby had the same name, and everyone survived that situation.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay. This is a 1973 Dear Abby. Dear Abby, please tell me, am I an old-fashioned, prissy, 52-year-old wife, mother, and grandmother because I don't enjoy going to X-rated movies? My husband thinks I am.
This is 1969?
No, this is 1973.
Okay.
He asked me to go to one of those movies with him, and I did, and I didn't care for it at all. To me, sex is something beautiful between a husband and wife, and I don't like to see it exploited before my eyes on a movie screen. My husband says it turns him on. Well, it turns me off. Do you think I should go to sexy movies with him just to keep him company? I find them humiliating. Signed, Old Fashioned. And what would you tell her? What would you tell this 52-year-old woman?
I mean, I would tell her that she probably is 52 years old, if that's what she's self-reporting, and that's not an accusation. And also that her husband needs to respect what she finds sexy.
100%.
And that she doesn't have to go to any movie she doesn't want to, whether it's an X-rated movie or, what's out in 1973? All the President's Men.
There you go.
Not exactly, but, pretty close to that year. The events that's about are happening.
That's probably what turns her on.
This is also so interesting to think about. And I know that my parents lived through this and, saw Deep Throat in the theater and stuff, but that...
Did they?
My mom, I want to say that she did. Yeah. Because it used to play at the Aladdin where you and I, Chelsey, have performed in our massive seance.
Is that where your mom saw it?
Yeah. I mean, it at least played there for years.
Awesome. Wow.
And that porn has gone mainstream, but that we also don't have porn showing in theaters to nearly this extent, if at all, generally.
I know. And this is smack dab in the middle of the golden age of pornography. So this is probably a pretty common question and issue that couples were facing at this time.
And it's kind of as legitimate of a medium as it's going to get, it seems like, during this period. And also Deep Throat, again, to use the Aladdin as an example, was in some theaters for years. and years.
Yeah, it's like Rocky Horror. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And like, what do you make of that? Because I do feel like, you know, it was like a very interesting time, and like a lot of good stuff came out of it. A lot of bad stuff was going on. You know, to speak of Deep Throat, Linda Lovelace had an absolutely terrible life.
Yeah.
And porn didn't help. But I mean, what occurs to me is that it's like, you know, through the good and the bad and everything, it's been, porn in America has been overwhelmingly based on just straight male. Well, there's a lot of gay porn at the time too, but overwhelmingly based on male sexuality.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I mean, is this woman going to find that like lens attractive?
Mm-hmm.
Probably not, especially if she thinks sex is a beautiful thing.
And she already knows she doesn't, right? So it's like, look, you've tried it.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Which was really generous of her.
Right. It's like, I think it's like we should all be willing to try more stuff once. And then if you try it once and you don't like it, you're not obligated to try it again.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Wait, what's the answer that she gets?
The answer is, Dear Old, if your husband needs an X-rated film to turn him on, let him go alone and tell him to hurry straight home before you turn in or he's turned off.
Nice.
So she's like, use it.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, you know, he will be masturbating in there, but but still.
But then I'm kind of like, I mean, I think you should be able to go to the movie. I don't care about that. But like, I don't know if she's going to be happy with the type of sex that's coming home because she wants it to be whatever she said, like beautiful.
Right.
And whatever, which is always a tall order anyway.
Well, I don't know. If her husband is about her age, then maybe he just needs that much cinema in order to come home and do what they like to do.
Yeah. I mean, I think so.
It depends. But I think the point is that like what she wants matters in this relationship.
Yeah. And I think that could have been a better answer.
And that her sexuality is just as important.
Yeah, like, I think that they were both really good at responding to men who were like, my wife is frigid, because, you know, that was like a pretty common letter. And they were always like, communicate. Mm-hmm. What does she want? Listen. You need to listen. So I feel like that was like pretty radical advice in a lot of ways, especially again for the housewifeian community that was reading it.
Well, yeah, and I think historically men don't understand like how to bridge the gender gap in sex in a way because they think of a sex drive as just like going to the bathroom. Yeah. You know? Yeah. And for so many of them, it's just like it has never occurred to them to wonder if they have never bothered to figure out that that's not how it is for women.
Yeah. And I'm gay, so can't relate.
More after this. And now, back to the show.
Okay. All right. This next one is like a little bit of a different format, but I just love it and I wanted to share it with you because a lot of these columns were also them kind of stepping back after they had read a letter. I mean, after they had, you know, printed a letter and their response, and then they got like an onslaught of replies. Right. They would often kind of do a town hall where it would be like a bunch of people can respond to what.
And come out and be like, you're all morons.
Yeah, exactly. So this is sort of in that vein. And it appears that I could not find the original, but this is like in response to kind of a little bit of a rock and roll panic that was, I mean, panic's not the right word because these women are never panicking. There's not a panicked bone.
Rock and roll anxiety.
They're very, you know, straightforward and confident. But, you know, it was more like these rock and roll lyrics are getting out of hand. And, you know, she thought that they were too dirty. And
there's a bustle in the hedgerow. You know what that means.
What does that mean? I've never heard that in my life.
I don't know. It's a line in, you know, in Stairway to Heaven.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
If there's a bustle in your hedgerow, don't be alarmed. It's just a spring clean for the May Queen.
Yep.
Could be about oral, maybe. I hope.
Could be. All right. So speaking of oral, again, this is from 1979. And this is someone writing to Ann Landers in response to her dislike of a certain musician who we will find out who that is. Okay. Dear Ann Landers, I'm really sorry you found that old song of mine crude and offensive. Actually, Cold Ethel is just a harmless number about necrophilia.
What?
The point I want to make is that the kids are not bothered by this. Their parents are. The kids see the song and gruesome antics, like with the guillotine, whatever that means, for exactly what it is, satire, done with a sense of humor to a rock and roll beat. Kids know I am harmless. It's their parents that make me out to be some kind of monster. I would like to see you print this in your column, Anne. Sincerely, Alice Cooper.
No, I love it. Oh, wow. Good old Alice.
I know. And I didn't see a lot of letters from celebrities. So this feels like kind of a special example.
Yeah, I love that.
But of course, I couldn't go through 50 years of columns, so I can't say that definitively.
Love thinking of Alice Cooper sitting down in his breakfast nook, and sharpening his pencil to write his letter to Ann Landers.
Yeah, like a quill. So obviously there's nothing for us to really answer. Although, I mean, I'm going to be honest about something, okay? Sometimes when I read some of the lyrics of the songs from Tipper Gore's campaign, I'm like, it's okay we put a parental warning sticker on a CD. Is that really the end of the world? So that's my, yeah, I don't know.
That's your cancelable opinion.
Yeah, cancel me.
I mean,
Tipper Gore was right.
Right? She did divorce Al eventually.
Hey, he was probably boring as fuck.
Do you remember the joke on The Simpsons about the talking Al Gore doll?
No.
Where you pull a string and it says, "You are hearing me talk."
No, I don't remember that. What a perfect show.
It really was. I've been walking around my neighborhood lately in like Birkenstocks with white socks underneath, and it just makes me feel like Martin Prince.
Wow. That is a look that I would have rocked in the year 2000 and let's say 3. Nice. I was a Birkenstock girly back then.
You were a cool kid then.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I wanted to be a hippie,
Exactly.
That was cool. And I don't know if that was like a regionally specific thing that was cool. It must not have been.
Birkenstocks with socks.
Yeah, and just the whole like hippie revival of the early 2000s.
Yeah, well, that was definitely a Northwest thing. I don't think Birkenstocks with socks have ever been popular in any community I've been in, but they should be because it's one of the most comfortable things you can wear, and then you get to feel like Martin Prince.
And they just really mold to your feet. They're really personalized shoes.
You know, they're so good.
Yeah. So
Birkenstocks and newspapers.com, the entities we would like to be sponsored by.
Sponsor us. Someone did write in and tell me that there is a newspapers.com affiliate program. So I'm going to look. I'm going to look into that for us.
Oh, yeah. The journey continues.
Yeah, the journey continues. Okay. There's got to be someone out there connected to fucking newspapers.com.
Well, I still feel silly because back on Twitter, someone who worked for JSTOR got in touch with me because I kept talking about JSTOR and about like wanting to get me some JSTOR merch. And I think I dropped the ball as I did on all communication between 2020 and 2023. And I want to be in bed with JSTOR.
JSTOR is so great, and they give you like 99 free articles, which none of the other ones,
seriously,
none of the other essay sites will give us. So I would love a sponsorship from JSTOR. And yeah, you were a real fool.
I know, I'm a fool. In moments like this, or just around this word, I think of like, this is how my brain works. I just have quotes from various movies in there, and one of them is Heather Graham in 6 Degrees of Separation after her boyfriend has spent all their money taking Will Smith to the Rainbow Room. And they're like young actors who moved to New York City from Utah. And she's like, your father was right. You are a fool.
Yeah.
She's like the worst thing you can say to a 23-year-old man.
Oh, God. It's devastating.
Your father was right.
Your father was right. Just friggin' cold to the bone. All right. Should we hear how Anne responded to Alice Cooper?
Oh my God, yes.
Dear Alice Cooper. Not Dear Alice. Dear Alice Cooper.
Just the full name for Alice Cooper.
Thank you for writing. For those who don't know what necrophilia is, it's sexual intercourse with someone who is dead. You can call it funny if you want to. Alice, I call it sick.
He's like, Alice, I'm sticking to my guns here.
She's like, there are some kinks that I shall shame.
Which is good. You know, she would be useful to us today.
Yep, she would.
Where it's like, you know what? Like, yes, shaming generally is bad, but some people need to be shamed a bit more. They can take it.
Yeah, and it all depends on the way that they're conducting themselves in the relationship to the other.
Yeah, although, you know, Alice Cooper can do what he wants in my book, but yeah.
Hey. Okay, so this one is from 1967. Dear Ann Landers, at a recent social gathering, there were 9 women and 4 men present, including me. I am thoroughly masculine and am not the least bit interested in female chatter. After dinner, everyone adjourned to the living room and the conversation was taken over by the women. 10 minutes passed and the 3 men announced they were going to the library to play cards. I was not asked to join them, and I spent the entire evening bored stiff, listening to over-the-fence gossip and cooking and cleaning hints. The same sort of thing occurred with another group. I was greatly offended and told my wife later that I thought this was the height of bad manners. My wife said I was unduly sensitive. I know how to play cards and wish to make it plain that in both cases the host was one of the offending gentlemen. Will you comment, please? Signed, St. Louis.
Huh.
What would you say?
Why does he have to specify that he's masculine if he's a man? What's this about?
Well, I guess he's trying to say that he's no poof. He doesn't want to hang with the ladies, you know, and he's being interpreted as someone that they apparently don't think is man enough to play cards with them.
Right? Is this Lester?
It might be. I could really see this being Lester. And if it is Lester, I say just start barking at the men. Just start barking and barking.
I think my advice is like, I don't care.
This isn't a real problem.
You just write back to me like, I literally don't care.
I can't care about this. I got 5,000 letters this week.
Do you have advice? What do you think?
I mean, I think my advice is like, just go with them.
Right. Just like pop in and be like, hey.
Yeah, they don't need to like give you a hand and be like, come with me, sir.
Surely it's rather manly to invite yourself to cards.
Yeah, right? I think, you know, if he showed some initiative, they'd be like, because maybe they think he wants to hang out with the ladies. It could be completely non-malicious and they just don't know how. Maybe they're shy.
Right. It generally is, you know, like generally the things that we attach to people's behavior or lack thereof is just like because they're just not really thinking about it, I think.
Yeah. And maybe they're feeling a little shy. You know, maybe they don't know how to invite him to play cards and they just think, well, if he wanted to come, he would. So this just might be a little bit of like a codependent issue where both people don't know how to be assertive toward the other and to make the first move because they don't think the other one wants it. So again, you just have to take the initiative. And
then I would say that, like, you know, he's annoyed at these women for gossiping, but he's in fact gossiping to me, Ann Landers, about how he feels these men have wronged him. So maybe gossip isn't so bad.
Yeah. And I mean, he's obviously like kind of a sexist pig, which we didn't cover yet. But like, you know, he's not enjoying the female chatter. But I don't know. It's like, what do you guys talk about when they play cards? I feel like I'd rather catch some hot gossip.
I don't think they talk about anything.
Just absolute silence, except when they're chomping on a cigar.
Well, or just, you know, they kind of, they like say things, but they don't get to sort of the energetic level that women get to. I feel like, you know, they'll be like, Norm Johnson's got a new Chevy. Oh, yep.
Oh, yeah. And especially if they're in the Midwest. Oh, sure. And I'm like, okay, I'm gender wise, you know, I get pretty nervous when I'm invited to, say, a ladies' lunch, which I still get invited to. And thank you all for the invitations, or, you know, like a baby shower or anything that is sort of hyper feminine coded, which is changing a lot now because we're not being like so weird.
My mental image of you at a baby shower is like you got a baseball cap and like a cardigan and like a little ciggy hanging out of your mouth, even though you don't smoke.
But I just have to assert something about my gender. But yeah, I would personally feel much more comfortable in the den playing cards.
Yeah. Well, the people do Irish folk dancing in steerage.
Exactly. And, I don't know. I feel that I would be able to get up and follow them and assert myself and just be like, I am likable. I am a strong, independent.
Yeah.
They, them.
Or like if it were a wedding and there was like a group of guys who went off to play cornhole, you would just like follow the guys to the cornhole.
Yeah, I just follow right to the cornhole. Like I own the place. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
All right. Should we hear her answer?
Yeah, I'm dying to.
Okay. Dear Saint, as in St. Louis. Why in the world would a man sit with 9 women while 3 other males go off to another room? You should have gotten up and left when the others did. You did not need a special invitation to join the men.
Yeah.
Don't make this mistake again.
Why is he the one who's confused about whether he's a man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's one. This is from 1980. Okay.
Wow.
Dear Abby, I am a homosexual, happily married to my lover. To my fellow employees, I am a happy bachelor. A woman in our office has recently broken off with the man she's been living with and asked me if I'd like to join her and another woman in our office and her husband for dinner and dancing some night. She caught me completely off guard, so I said yes before I could think of a valid reason to say no. Can't relate. Abby, I have no desire to join these people or get involved socially with them. I can easily say I'm busy when she asks me for a specific date, but how can I handle any subsequent invitations? I do not discuss my love life at the office, but I want her to know I am not available for any dates without telling her why. Signed, Shook Up.
Oh my God. I have no idea. Right?
Come out of the closet, baby.
I'm like so stressed on behalf of this guy.
It's a really stressful question. And it's like one that all of us can understand, to a point where it's like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And if you have trouble saying no, like both of us do, it is kind of a haunted house for me.
Yeah.
Plus I'm British, man. And I have that sensibility. It's like, oof, manners.
Right.
Prison.
I was listening to a Pete Holmes comedy thing, and his hypothesis is that British people, if you say something intense, just kick it back to you.
Like, explain for me.
Like, you'd be like, oh boy, I got audited by the IRS and I've got to pay a lot of money in back taxes. I might go broke. I'd be like, you lost all your money then.
Yeah, you just say the same thing.
Or I guess like summarize what you just said. I have to be Cockney for it.
I guess so, yeah. I mean, you got to be true to yourself.
I think I would say that I'm in a long distance relationship and I've checked with that woman and I'm closeted. Yeah. And because also I guess this thing of like, because it feels like the idealistic read is like, no, you shouldn't live in the shadows. And it's like, okay, but it's 1980. And even if I wasn't afraid of the repercussions, like I wouldn't want to deal with it,
Yeah. And I totally understand that. I really do, because it's like, I don't know. It's a lot to have to live with people looking at you as a symbol all the time, right? And it's like as soon as you're the gay one, you become something other than yourself and you become someone that everyone is looking at through a certain lens, whether that lens is like, ew, a gay guy, or like, oh, a gay guy. Both of those are hard to stomach day in and day out. So, yeah, I don't fault anybody for keeping it quiet at the office because fuck the office.
Right. And also it's like, even if you're like the most sort of like heteronormative person in the world, there's still stuff that you don't want to tell people you work with about because that would be annoying.
Exactly. You don't owe the people you work with anything. If they become your friend outside, you could hit them with a little bit of truth on that subject, I think. But then you're risking office gossip.
Right.
You can't stop that.
There's just like, there's a lot of relationships that it's nice to keep at a relatively superficial level.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And so, it's your choice to come out when you're ready. And we're not going to force this man to come out of the closet at his office.
Come out whenever you want. Come out, on your deathbed, if that's how long you want to wait. It's truly up to you. I think I would tell this guy to say that actually he's identical twins and his twin wanted to go out, but he doesn't. And also he's sending his twin back to Seattle, and he's just does not like dinner and dancing. That's terrible advice, but yeah.
It also implies that twins have been doing one job and switching off. It's a very 90s plot.
Isn't that ideal though?
I mean, it really is.
Because your twin works. Well, I guess the twins could alternate, because 1 week one twin works Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and the other twin works Monday and Friday, and then that alternates who can have long weekends, or you can take the middle of the week and go to the beach when it's less crowded.
That's actually a really smart schedule for twin workers.
Identical twins with the same job skills.
Well, and you know what is so funny that you say that? Ann Landers, that was the first column. And so she started, which was Epi.
Right.
And then Popo, who would become Dear Abby 3 months later, actually joined her, and they were secretly doing the column together until they were found out.
Oh my God.
So what you're saying actually happened in the context of this episode. So that's fun.
I mean, yeah, I'm sure, that it doesn't always work that way, but wouldn't that be nice?
Wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice to have
if
a twin?
we were twins and we could both work the same job.
Really good. Really good stuff.
I'd be at the beach while my twin was working, and when I got home, he'd tell me the gossip.
He's gay.
Yeah.
That's the gossip. Okay, so Dear Abby responds, Dear Shook, tell her you're not available because you're involved with someone. It's true. You are. Which is like pretty good advice.
Yeah.
It
is.
There probably will be follow-up questions, I think, is the short-sighted nature of this answer.
Right.
But, I think that she's on to something, but it's not complete advice, and he's going to be in a world of trouble after that answer as well. So we wish you luck, Shook Up.
I know. Yeah, I hope it all went well.
They're probably still alive. 1980? Yeah.
Here's hoping. If
any of you who wrote these letters are listening somehow, sound off in the comments.
If you're the shook up.
If you're all shook up. Okay. I think that I just have one more for you. Okay. So I want you to listen extra carefully to this question. Okay. So this one came in 2004. We're going to move on from our original Dear Abby, and we're going to hear a letter to the new Dear Abby, which was her daughter. So, yeah, again, listen just a little extra carefully to this one. Dear Abby, I am 34 and have 3 children. My husband, we'll call him Gene, and I have been married for 10 years. He is greedy, selfish, inconsiderate, and rude. I don't know why I married him, nor why our marriage has lasted this long. Gene put off getting me a birthday gift for as long as he could. Then he bought me a bowling ball. It was the last straw. Not only do I not bowl, he had the holes drilled for his fingers and his name was on it. The next day, I went to the bowling alley, determined to keep the ball and learn to bowl. It was there that I met Franco.
Oh.
Franco is kind, considerate, and loving, the polar opposite of Gene. Franco and I began bowling together, and he bought me a glove in my size with my name on it. Shortly thereafter, our affair began. I didn't mean that I was married. When Gene saw the bowling glove on our dresser, he became depressed because he realized that I'd met someone. I feel sorry for Gene, but the last time I saw Franco, he proposed.
Whoa.
I no longer love Gene. I want to divorce him and marry Franco. At the same time, I'm worried that Gene won't be able to move on with his life. I also think our kids would be devastated. What should I do? Signed, Stuck in a Love Triangle. Is there anything about that letter to you that feels familiar?
Isn't this an episode of The Simpsons?
Yes, Sarah, you fucking got it. It was a prank. It was a prank. I'm so happy you got that. Wow.
I don't think Marge was ever thinking of divorcing Homer, though. And also, look, Homer has a lot of redeeming features.
I agree. He's very lovable.
Yeah, Homer is an ADHD girly.
Yes, that's very true. And he should stop strangling his son, which is good. I think that they don't do that anymore.
Yes, he should. But, it's the trajectory. I mean, God, I don't know. The Simpsons have been on for so long. I'm sure there have been many more eras of Homer. But the initial transition from angry dad to sweet dad was very fun to watch.
Yeah, to like a dope. We love a dope. And that was, the dope husband was very popular for many years.
Well, I remember one of the great episodes is my friend Caroline told me about this one where Homer does something to really embarrass Lisa accidentally, and to apologize to her. He's like, Lisa, you're going to end up in places where guys like me are only there to wash the dishes or whatever. Just that he's
yeah.
I don't know. And in that classic dad way has glimmers of self-awareness that kind of save the day. And then he will make the same mistake again tomorrow. But
yeah,
the point is Homer is better than Gene, I would say. But yeah, this is a first season or second season Simpsons episode. And the role of Franco in the episode is voiced by Albert Brooks.
Wow. Look at that. That's so fun.
Yeah.
I think that if I heard it again as a fully grown adult, I might have been able to clock that.
So how does all that go?
Well, what's fun about it is, I'll do the answer first. So she says, Dear Stuck, you are not stuck in a love triangle. You deliberately put yourself into one by not being honest with Franco. Before you get any deeper, put your house in order and tell your husband why you strayed. He may not realize how selfish, greedy, and inconsiderate and rude you think he is. To save the marriage, he might be willing to change back to the man who bowled you over in the first place. Next, don't apologize to Franco for not informing him of the fact that you are already married. He has a right to know the score. And after that, what does this mean? Q Sarah Sarah? Do you know that?
Okay, Sarah Sarah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I'm so stupid. Miranda, cut that out.
Q Sarah Sarah.
Shut up. He has a right to know the score. And after that, K Sarah Sarah.
Q Sarah Sarah.
Shut up. I'm taking that out.
I like it like that.
We'll see. We'll see if I'm willing to be ashamed.
Or it's a song from the end of Heathers.
Of course. I know the song.
Yeah.
I just have never seen it written, right? I've only ever sang it or said it. Just don't make me pronounce things.
You learned it through the oral tradition.
Exactly. I tend to go for oral tradition over written because I'm a folklorist. Yeah, again, this was in 2004 and it was noticed by many newspapers before it actually went out. Oh,
nice. Wow.
But some of them did print it, and that's why we have this record of it. It's really cute.
It's very cute. And it's about what happens in the show, I think. So that worked out.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a really fun little joke. I love a prank.
I love that.
I love a prank that doesn't hurt anyone, really.
Yeah. And involves a season 1 Simpsons plot.
Yeah. I love it. So, yeah, that is our Dear Abby Ann Landers special here where we read you some columns. And I hope everybody got to know Dear Abby and Ann Landers a little bit better and enjoyed our advice.
Yeah, I hope we did a pretty good job.
I think we did. Yeah. And thank you to both Epi and Popo. Rest in peace. I really learned to love those broads. So, Sarah, thank you so much for being my identical twin for this episode.
Thank you for being my identical twin. I love it.
It was really a blast. Who knows? Maybe this could be something we do again because it was really fun.
I would love that. And, who knows? Maybe we'll name our dogs after the neighbor.
Who knows? Lester. Arr, 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 arr.
This was American Hysteria. We want to give a heartfelt thank you to everyone who's joined either Patreon or Apple Plus in the last couple weeks. It's been really heartening, the show of support that you've given us. So thank you so much. If you'd like to become a patron or Apple Plus subscriber, you can go to patreon.com/American Hysteria or subscribe on Apple Plus. Not only will you get ad-free episodes, but you'll get access to bonus content like Hysteria Home Companion, the other podcast that I do with our producer Miranda, where we tell you stories related to the topics that we cover or stories that we just know that you'll love. We've got a big back catalog of episodes, so there's plenty to listen to right now. That's patreon.com/American Hysteria or subscribe on Apple Plus. We also have a bunch of new merch available at AmericanHysteria.com, and all of the profits right now are going to the Samir Project, a Palestinian-led group that are on the ground in Gaza providing food and supplies to displaced families. So this is a really great time to get some merch and support the amazing Samir Project. Again, that's AmericanHysteria.com. American Hysteria's producer and editor is Miranda Zickler. Our associate producer and assistant researcher is Riley Swedelius-Smith, and I'm your host, Chelsey Weber-Smith. Thanks, as always, for listening, and I hope you have a great